You know, I ate a whole wheel of cheese last night.
You know, that's impressive. I'm not even mad, Paul. That's really amazing. And that gave us the idea today of choosing the best cheeses from Europe. Our first cheese is from Spain. Now, the translation of cheese in Spanish is queso. And the name of the cheese that we picked is called Mahón.
This cheese is from the Balearic island of Menorca, and it's white.
A white cheese, delicious. The interesting thing about this cheese is that it is made on an island and that it's thickened with herbs. The cows eat the grass that is seasoned by the sea salt, so it gives the cheese a unique flavor.
No ways.
Yeah.
So you get the sea salt flavor from the grass that the cows eat.
Grass that the cows eat, and then in the cheese.
Now this is a hard cheese. It has a very buttery and nutty flavor. Now, as Andy said before, because of the grass that the cows eat, which is next to the sea, it also has a very strong salty flavor. But that's not added, it just comes from the cow's milk.
And this is a very hard type of cheese. There's different types of mahón that you can get, but we are talking about the completely cured version of this cheese, so it is a hard table cheese.
The next cheese is from France. The French word for cheese is fromage. This particular cheese is brie, and we all know brie cheese.
It's delicious. The origin of this cheese is just east of Paris, and it dates back to the year 774. Not exactly sure why that's specific of a date, but that's old. That's an old cheese. The color of this cheese is white and creamy, very spreadable kind of cheese that you usually eat on crackers.
This cheese is aged over several months, so it's quite an old cheese, but it's not hard. As Andy said before, it's very spreadable and soft. It has a very nutty, fruity flavor and is quite mild.
You can really get this cheese anywhere. It's very, very popular and very good to have with wine, actually.
Yeah.
Our next European cheese is from Germany. Now, cheese in German is Käse. The cheese that we chose is called Hirtenkäse. Now, that means herder's cheese.
This cheese originates from the south of Germany. Now, it's a very golden, buttery cheese, but it is quite hard.
Hirtenkäse is aged around 8 months, and it's very comparable to Parmesan, Asiago, and aged Swiss cheese.
This cheese has a very distinctive, waxy texture. Now, don't let that put you off, because it does have a very caramelly flavor with just a hint of cooked milk. So quite delicious. The next cheese is from Italiano. Now, the Italian word for cheese is similar to the French word for cheese, and that is formaggio. Now, this cheese is pecorino siciliano.
Pecorino siciliano.
Pecorino siciliano.
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 Pecorino siciliano.
Siciliano.
Siciliano. As you probably guessed, the origin of this cheese is in Sicily. In fact, it's probably one of the oldest cheeses known to man. It was mentioned, the recipe was mentioned in Ulysses' the Odyssey back in 900 BC. It's amazing. Now, this cheese is only allowed to be produced in Sicily. It's protected. So it's very unique to this part of Italy and very delicious. This cheese has a yellow whitish interior with specks of pepper because they actually inject the pepper into the cheese as they're making it thicker.
This cheese is made from the milk of a sheep. This sheep is a free-ranging, grass-grazing sheep, and they add nothing else to the milk besides black pepper. So if you're into organic products and organic cheeses, this is the one for you.
And hey, if they're free sheep, they're happier sheep. Therefore, they make happier milk.
There's nothing like a happy sheep.
This is true. Pecorino Siciliano has a very pungent, sharp taste, and that's mostly from the pepper. It gives it a little bit of a bite, and it's a nice hard table cheese, so it's served best alone. Our next European cheese is from Switzerland. The translation of cheese in Swiss, or the primary language is German anyway, so it's Käse, you guessed it. The name of this cheese is Emmental cheese, which we know as Swiss cheese.
This cheese originates from the Swiss mountains, particularly a cow that's only found in the mountains.
That's amazing.
This cheese is quite holy and is a white, yellowish color with a semi-hard texture.
This type of cheese is seen everywhere, you know, in cartoons. This was the international symbol of cheese with the holes. You're probably wondering how the cheese gets the holes. This cheese is actually mixed with 3 types of bacteria, healthy bacteria, okay? And one of the types of bacteria releases CO2 in the process, which creates air bubbles in the cheese.
As we all know, this cheese does not have a very sharp flavor. In fact, it's quite mild with a semi-sweet taste. The final cheese is from Holland, yeah?
Ja.
Now, the translation for cheese in Danish is kaas, and this particular cheese is the prima donna cheese.
It's not like the prima donna that we know prima donna, but it's prima donna.
Why do you sound Italian?
Actually, this cheese, Paul, was made to imitate Parmesan from Italy.
Okay.
The origin of this cheese is obviously from, the fields of Holland, and it's a creamish white color. It's slightly softer than Parmesan, but as I said earlier, it was intentionally made to imitate Parmesan.
This cheese is treated very similarly to a wine. It's aged inside a warehouse approximately 1 year. Now I say approximately because they don't actually know. They take out the cheese when it is ready. So it's a very nice cheese that goes well with crackers and wine and grapes after a dinner.
The taste of prima donna is very unique. It tastes somewhat like Parmesan, but it has a kick a little less than a sharp cheddar. When you eat it, you will get a sense of a nutty flavor, and then you finish it off with a caramel flavor. So very unique.
In fact, this cheese has been known to be mixed with certain ingredients like wasabi sauce.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds delicious. Well, these are all of our picks from Europe for our cheeses. We actually had a chance to try all of these. Absolutely delicious. We strongly recommend them. If you have any other comments or different cheeses that you like, be sure to leave them in the box down below. Thanks for watching. You're watching eZeLiving.com, where you can find anything and everything lifestyle.